Yo, I'm so in love with this team right now, man. And I go through these phases with my favorite teams when we're young and we're hungry and we're having fun and they don't know no better. It's such an innocent time. And that's where we are right now. Now, the honeymoon phase will soon be over because when expectations are low, you're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to joke around and keep it loose and light because nobody's expecting anything from you. When we get to the regular season, I think the expectations for this team are mounting and they're growing as the weeks pass. Coming into this season, it wasn't like last year or the year before that where there were no expectations. There was no expectation in the last year of Jay Gruden in 2019. There were no expectations last year in year one for Ron Rivera. At least not for me. I can't speak for any of you out there. This year, the expectations for me were, 9-8. 8-9, somewhere in there. Ball bounces your way, you stay relatively healthy, 10-7. Is that good enough to win the division? I don't know. I would go out on a limb and say no. I don't think it's going to be good enough. I think Dallas is going to be improved. I think the Giants are going to be a lot better than people think. If Daniel Jones plays well, I think they've got all the tools there to be a really formidable team. And then there's us, sitting there. NFC East champs, kind of waiting in the weeds a bit. I think there are enough people, however, tooting this team's horn for them. There are enough people out there saying, hey, look out for Washington. There are enough of those people that it's getting loud enough to where I don't think you can slide under the radar. I think the expectations for Washington this season are beginning to mount. But still, in the face of that, it is awesome to see guys be able to have fun and enjoy themselves. Because when the people, the pundits and the fans and everyone start to expect a lot out of you, and really they should be expecting a lot out of themselves, and they are. And any player will tell you that. They expect, nothing less than perfection from themselves. However, when you start hearing that all the time, the pressure can mount. It can build. And you can become uncomfortable being in a situation that you didn't really see coming. And you see teams all the time that are supposed to win get tight because they were told they were the better team. So they expect to win. And when things start going sideways, they don't really know how to handle it because why is this happening? We are supposed to win this game, and they get tight. I see this team just being loose, man, going out and playing ball. They're young. They're ready to have fun. I saw a post yesterday from Bucs linebacker Devin White. They just won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. For those of you who don't know who Devin White is, he's only the best young linebacker in all of football. We're hoping our guy Jamin Davis adds his name to the list here shortly, but for right now, Devin White's that dude. Devin White's that dude. For those of you old enough to know Devin the dude, that's Devin White. He's put out a tweet the other day, and it said, we all on rookie contracts. Grave diggers. Hashtag grave diggers. And it was a picture of the entire Buccaneers secondary and him celebrating in the end zone after they forced a turnover of Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And it was every single one of their defensive backs. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Antoine Winfield Jr., Carlton Davis. All of them are on rookie contracts. Every single one of them. Their other safety, I can't think of his name right now. He's damn good too. Jordan Whitehead from Pitt. They're all on rookie contracts. And he's sitting down in the middle of them after they just picked off Mahomes like what? And I'm just thinking to myself, that's fun. That's young, that's dumb, that's fun. There's nothing more enjoyable than when you see young pups grow up right before your very eyes and you see those boys doing what the Bucks did last year. Out there balling, creating havoc. And you're like, I remember when he was a little short, tight. I remember when he was wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. I remember when he first got in the league. I remember his first sack. And you seeing these boys celebrating in the end zone of the Super Bowl. That's what we want, man. That's what I want so bad. And I'm not saying that's what we're getting this year, but I do want to start off the show tonight with a question. And we'll get into OTAs, day number 3. We'll have an overall view for OTAs. I'll give you my synopsis. I read an interesting article from Michael Phillips of the Richmond Times-Dispatch that I'm going to share with you guys and give you the cliff notes of it. And then we're going to discuss what he wrote in that article. But I want to start the show off with a question that was asked to me, that was posed to me on my podcast yesterday. 168th installment of the Louie T Network podcast. If you're not listening to the Louie T Network podcast, shame on you. Anyway, I digress. Deadly Force was the person that asked me this question. Mob Squad, stand up. We in the building. Got to get that out of there. Deadly Force said, when does our Super Bowl window open? And I said, man, when he asked me the question yesterday, I thought to myself, it's a damn good question, but I knew the answer right away. There was no hesitation, no hezzy. I didn't have to think about it. I knew the answer already. But it's still a fascinating question, because when's the last time, seriously, as a Washington fan, you've actually been able to utter the words window and Super Bowl in the same sentence and actually mean it about a current team and actually mean it that it's a legitimate possibility for us? But beyond that, Deadly Force asked the question, and I said, man, it's a hell of a question. But my immediate response in the moment, and it was funny because without thinking, I just blurted it out. The window is now. Stands for one thing. Quarterback. I said the window is now. It's all dependent upon the quarterback position. I didn't tell you anything that you didn't already know. But to actually be able to say those words, hear them come out of your own mouth. Washington football team, Super Bowl, one player away. Let that sink in for a second. I was reading an article. We're going to do this down the road, not this week. May not be next week, but before we get to camp, at some point, we're going to address this. This is my new elephant in the room. I was reading an article the other day, and the article said that the Washington football team has the 8th, count them, 8th best roster in the National Football League heading into 2021. And I said, well, I'll be damned. 8th? And I said, man, I probably could come up with about 10 before you get to us. But then I said, 8th. Think about it. When's the last time somebody said we had a top 10 roster in the league? And I got to thinking to myself, how many times have we said, man, this is a really talented squad. We're going to have to cut some people that are going to play in this league on other teams. And I said, you know what? Maybe we do have a top 10 roster. I'd have to sit down and actively jot out a list of the top 15 teams in the league in terms of roster. We're going to be in the top 15. We might even be in the top 10. But it was the fact that that article had us 8th. And it let me know. Because we've talked about this already. I've talked about the defensive line. I've talked about the defense. I've talked about the skill weapons that we now have on offense. I said this team has talent everywhere. For the first time in a long time, not only do we have frontline talent, that the frontline talent in spells hasn't been the issue. In 2012, frontline talent wasn't an issue. In 2015, frontline talent. 2016, frontline talent wasn't the problem. The problem has been depth after the frontline talent. Who do you have backing that guy up? If something were to occur, do you still have guys that can get you by? The answer's always been no. So when injuries start to hit, when Jordan Reed gets injured, or Vernon Davis gets injured, or Trent Williams gets injured, what are we going to do? When Santana Moss gets hurt, who the hell is going to play wide receiver for us? That was always the question. Was who do we have to step in? God forbid the quarterback goes down. What are we going to do? We don't have those questions right now. We got depth everywhere. And when Deadly Force asked the question, when does our Super Bowl window open? I said, the window is open now. We just need the quarterback to play up to standard. Think about that. If Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, hell, even Matthew Stafford, who is much lesser than the two guys I just named, remove them from the equation. If Matthew Stafford, who we actively pursued this offseason, was here in Washington right now, we would be legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Let that sink in. Seriously. If Matthew Stafford would have been traded here instead of Los Angeles, we'd be sitting here right now talking about 14-3 and home field advantage throughout the NFC and potentially going all the way to the chip and bagging us one. And there'd be a lot of you out there that I wouldn't be able to talk off of that cliff, and I wouldn't dare try to do it. Because I might be in the back of my mind be thinking the same damn thing. We are literally a quarterback away, and this is the window. Because you got Montez Sweat, you got Chase Allen, you got Deron Payne all on rookie contracts. This is the window. Unfortunately, the window might be open and it might shut before we find our guy at the quarterback position. This is why next offseason, they're going to probably do the same thing that they did this last offseason, which is pursue a veteran that may come available a la Aaron Rodgers. Because they know the window of opportunity is now. Especially when you look at all these guys on rookie contracts. You're not going to be able to keep all of them. That's why what the Bucks just did in free agency this offseason was amazing. They didn't lose a single guy. I think I read something that said for the first time in like 20 or 30 years, or maybe the entire Super Bowl modern era, a team brings back all 22 starters from a Super Bowl championship team. It doesn't happen. Guys want to chip, they want to get paid. You can't pay everybody, you're going to lose some guys. They didn't lose a single guy. Everybody on the squad said, hey, let's run it back. Let's run it back. And when Devin White's on a rookie deal, and Sean Murphy Bunting is on a rookie deal, and Jordan Whitehead's on a rookie deal, when your right tackle, Tristan Wirfs, is on a rookie deal, you can run it back. When Antoine Winfield Jr. is on a rookie deal, you can run it back. When Carlton Davis is on a rookie deal, you can run it back. Because it allows you to go out and sign JPP back. It allows you to re-sign Tom Brady and re-sign Gronk and re-sign Leonard Fournette and re-sign and bring back all of the guys. The whole band gets to come back together. Because you got a bunch of dudes on rookie deals. That's where we are right now. That's why the window's open. The window is open. But we don't have a QB, man. What you gonna do? Now, if Ryan Fitzpatrick comes in here and lights it up, I don't know. Maybe the window is open now and maybe we're ready to go through it. But that's highly unlikely, guys. I'm going to keep it a buck and some change with you. You know, I keep it nice and funky with y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what I think. And what I think is we're a QB short of having a legitimate shot at winning a chip. So I thought that was a great question from Deadly Force yesterday. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
LouieTeeNetwork.